Tragedy serves to examine the cause of this downfall. The reason why this element of tragedy is so powerful in Shakespeare's writing is because he establishes that the tragic hero is essentially a good person. Portraying the complete elimination and dehumanization of a good person is heart-wrenching and awful, a reaction that could not be obtained with the downfall of a villain. This part of tragedy has not changed and can still be seen today. The last three factors of tragedies all build off of the tragic hero and their fatal flaw. The fifth element is that the pattern is always the same. Orderly standards of society collapse into violence because of the actions of the tragic hero, who is ironically the greatest victim of this violence. In Macbeth, this would be when Macduff and Malcolm return to Scotland with English soldiers to take down Macbeth because they see him as a tyrant who unjustly acquired the throne. A fight breaks out, and Macbeth is the principal victim of the chaos that he ultimately caused. The sixth aspect of tragedies is that suffering is apparent. Clearly showing the suffering of the tragic hero and those around them is able to draw out the emotion of the audience, making tragedies more captivating and successful. The suffering can be individual or collective, and inward or outward. An example of suffering within Macbeth is when Lady Macbeth displays her mental traumas caused by guilt as she sleepwalks and hallucinates seeing the blood of the murdered King Duncan on her hands. The audience is able to see her suffering as she realizes that no amount of water can wash away the king's blood. The final element of tragedy is that there is always a resolution or reconciliation. This usually comes about through revenge or catharsis. In Macbeth, this is when he is ultimately killed by Macduff because of his own actions and ambition. After studying the elements of tragedy that were refined in Shakespeare's work, it is easy to see how the foundation laid by him can still be seen today. The tragic movie $1 Million Baby, for example, although not as dark or gruesome as Macbeth, contained all 7 elements of tragedy. The movie $1 Million Baby follows Maggie, the protagonist, who is an aspiring boxer from humble beginnings, as she convinces Frankie, a famous boxing coach, to train her. He coaches Maggie and places a lot of emphasis on the first rule of boxing, that is, to always protect yourself. With Frankie's guidance, Maggie is able to climb the ranks of the boxing world through hard work and determination. As she takes down more opponents and gains more fame and money, she becomes self-confident and careless. Because of this growing arrogance, she agrees to fight a strong opponent for a large sum of money, despite Frankie's warning that her opponent was known for being underhanded and shady.